Pacers minus 198, Bucks plus 166. I thought that was crazy when I saw the FanDuel lines of the Pacers almost minus 200 in the series. Chase, clearly Vegas and FanDuel have no belief in this Bucks team.
Yeah, and I don't really see a reason that they should, other than what we see talent-wise on the court. I think that line is probably has a bit of recency bias based on what we saw last season in the playoffs from both these teams, right? Obviously, Indiana making that pretty incredible run to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then the Bucks getting, remind me, was it 4 or 5 that Miami series where they ended up
4-1?
Yeah, and there wasn't even competition. The Bucks are the ultimate conundrum, man, because on paper you like everything that you see, and it just does not work out on the court. So theoretically, there's a shot here for the Bucks to pull off this upset and maybe do something against Indiana in this series, with the way Tyrese has been playing, right? But at the same time, where I have absolutely no faith in them. I have no faith in Doc Rivers to pull this team together. I think Giannis is already, we joked about him leaving, and maybe that's less pressure on the Bucks. I think he's already out. I think he wants to go. I think he sees the future, and he knows that nothing's going to go Milwaukee's way here. And so just for that reason alone, and I do think the Pacers do have a good enough talent. They're going to have this home court advantage here, and I think they are looking to replicate some of that magic from last season. And if you're Indiana, you start to look at your second round matchup with Cleveland. You start to think, okay, here we don't have to see Boston until the finals. Maybe this is our year to do it again. Maybe we can replicate what we did. We came back, we're better. We think we're better, faster, stronger, whatever it is. So I see Indiana winning this series. I can give them. It's such a sissy answer to say 6, but I really think the Pacers win this in 6 games.
Pacers in 6. Connor, I know you want to take Giannis. I know you love Darvin Ham and Doc Rivers. I mean, that's the 1-2 punch. That is the best coaching staff in the league, right?
It is a coaching staff in the league.
There you go.
Not for long.
Yeah, not for long. Enjoy it. 2 headlines for Milwaukee going into this. Number 1, Damian Lillard's blood clots. I think Shams reported he's supposed to be cleared for the round 1 playoffs at some point. I don't know. There's not like a set in stone date for him to return. So, if he comes back, that obviously weighs pretty heavy on this series. The second one is, this is Giannis' first healthy playoffs in 2.5 years, or 3 years. Against Miami, they lost 4-1. He missed 2.5 games and wasn't healthy for the time he played with that back injury. And then last year when they lost to the Pacers in round 1, he didn't even play. So this is the first time in 3 years he's been healthy for the playoffs. I think that means something. I really think that means something. In the head-to-head this year, 4 games, Bucks-Pacers, Giannis averaged 30, 12.5, and 7.5 assists, shot 65% from the field. He dominated the Pacers. And you don't think he still remembers that in-season tournament debacle when they took the ball from him and, yada, yada, and he chased it back to the locker room? I think that still probably holds pretty heavy on his heart, and he's probably a guy that, didn't forget that. I like the Bucks here. They've been number 1 in free throw attempts the last 15 games. Giannis is going to make a living at the line. If he shoots 75% from the line, I think the Bucks win this series. He's going to be there all series long.
The Pacers' defense is just terrible.
To be fair, though, the Pacers have been 6th in defensive rating the last 15 games. They've been on the right track, but historically, it's been pretty poo-poo.
Who have they played, though? And also,
yeah,
the last 10 game stuff going into the NBA playoffs is has such a giant asterisk on it because...
Does it? Maybe the last 2, 3, maybe a week and a half.
Okay,
the last week and a half.
No, because you can have a 10-game skid where you're playing 7 G League teams at this point.
Yeah,
that's
true.
How many teams? Because we all knew the play-in stuff already. We knew who was already at least making the play-in and people who were clearly tanking. We had 10 teams that were clearly tanking at the end.
I think that's valid. I'm looking at the Pacers schedule right now.
I want to hear these 10
let's get
games.
on this Pacers schedule.
All right, let's see. Pacers schedule.
It was 15, by the way, Carter.
15?
I didn't say 15. All right, so in reverse order, Cleveland, who didn't play anybody. Cleveland, Orlando, Cleveland, Washington, Denver, Utah, Charlotte, Sacramento, OKC, Washington, Lakers, Timberwolves, Nets. Okay.
And what was their, in the non-Timberwolves, Lakers, Thunder games, what was their defensive rating? Were they first in the league?
They were probably number 1.
They were better than that Pistons team.
No, that's valid. Well, you know what? I'm not picking them to win, so trash on them. I'll take the L on that. Yeah.
The other thing, you talked about remembering last year the Bucks-Pacers series. that totally went out of my mind. I completely can you name one thing that happened in that series last year?
I just know Giannis didn't play.
I think game one was crazy. Was that the one in Tyrese hit that like floater and one?
You might be right.
That's all I can remember.
Last year's first round was a sneaky dud outside of Knicks Sixers, honestly.
Yeah.
Our Orlando Cleveland went 7, man.
And I know it was still a dud. Anyhow, but Pacers Bucks, it's kind of okay. Are you taking the best player on the floor, or are you taking the better team in this spot? I kind of agree with Connor, and I kind of want to go Bucks, and I just trust Giannis for the same reason I took the Nuggets over the Clippers. Where do I necessarily fully believe in this Pacers team? No. And is this Pacers team, do they have a little bit of that Trae Young Hawks thing where they went to the Eastern Conference Finals? They think they're kind of too good for this first round stuff. They're kind of looking ahead a little bit, and they're saying, oh, Damian Lillard's probably not going to play in this series or potentially won't play in this series. We might be looking ahead a little bit. I just wouldn't want to face Giannis in this spot. I'm going Bucks, actually. I go Bucks in 7.
I think there's multiple games that Giannis can win in this series by himself. I think we will see multiple games of him 35, 12, and 8.
I think he's going to have to do that 4 times for them to win this series.
Oh, we got a Kyle Kuzma game in there somewhere. Come on.
No, we do not. No, we do not.
No, I like the Bucks. Give me the Bucks in 6. I think I don't know. I like
Bucks
Giannis, best player in the series by a mile. Bucks in 6.
Are you worried about Pascal Siakam locking him down?
I'm not. I'm worried about Siakam fouling out.
Miles Turner?
Miles Turner, Brook Lopez, battle the stretch bigs.
You're going to text me and go, Miles Turner double-doubles the play tonight.
I might text you that.